Thank you, everybody, and thanks again for the invitation to this wonderful event. What you're looking at here, this is a company getting lucky. This deposit has grown significantly. It's an emerging multi-million ounce deposit called the Dumby that we have, and it's beginning to attract the attention of investors and corporates alike. It's high grade. We think the mining grade of just the pit alone is going to be about 2.2 grams a ton. Contains 3.66 million ounces of resources currently, getting bigger, we believe, in the pit shell, and it's open at depth. And for investors, the key is that we've started to rationalize this. We've just finished a scoping study, and we've got a value at current gold prices around $900 million after tax. We own 85% of that $900 million. We're valued at $67 million. So we have to get out there and tell the story. 7% our market cap reflects of the scoping study value. Yeah, just a disclaimer, there are some forecasts. So we're right in the center of Africa and up in the top right-hand corner. And for you that's seen Mark Bristow speaking, we've got Barrick's Kibali mine. And that's not any gold mine. That's Africa's largest gold mine and the lowest cost in Barrick's group of 6 African mines. So there's a pedigree of gold mining in the area. And also noticeable for you is Ivanhoe Mining is down the south of this country. The reason they're valued at $14 billion currently is largely due to the activity in the south with the copper. So this is a country that's creating more and more interest. Just looking at the Kibali mine, it's great for us to be able to point to this, and it produced over 800,000 ounces at $778 an ounce. Remember, gold's broken 1,800, so huge margins here. For us, the resource grade, is the early stage, is very similar to what was in the pit at Kibali, and in the few holes we've drilled underground are as good, if not arguably better, but early stage than what they're mining currently at Kibali. So it's a great proxy for us to look at and gives a bit of confidence for you if you don't know the area. Listed in the TSX, most of our volumes there, but also New York and Frankfurt, and valued, I've got the Canadian there, US dollars, we're sitting about 67 million US dollars, as I mentioned. 3 major shareholders, management, we've got 1 key shareholder there, but also Resolute Mining out of Australia, the Australian gold miners, plus Newmont that have been there for 13 years. That's as long as the company's been in place. So a lot of detail as usual with these, but the key is, as we always like to say, is experience. And Arnie, the major shareholder, 22%, has 30 years experience in the DRC, which is invaluable, there's no doubt about it. If you want to get things done in a place like that, you've got to have experience. He's got it. Myself, I've sort of kicked the tires both as an equity analyst for the big banks, but also in various companies and been involved in equity raisings, listing companies, etc. And then we have Peter Cowley, the president, who's found over 30 million ounces in the type of geology that we have. So again, very experienced in interpreting the geology in the area we're in. And of course, on the ground, we continue to do things. We've never had a lot of money, but we can drill holes to improve the water quality, build clinics, etc., etc. And ongoing, this is a critical part of our work. So where are we again? Focusing in, you've got Uganda to the right, and above us there's Kibali mine. And that's dotted with multi-10 million ounce plus resources at Gator over in Tanzania, Twangiza, all very similar geology. Greenstones with banded ironstones. Our area, Ngaya, we have a huge area, 3,500 kilometers squared. It's had a history of mining, and we obviously are looking to move that forward. We currently have over 5 million ounces in total, the majority in the Dumby deposit. So the area in itself, in the middle, it's a little technical, but the blue essentially is the banded ironstone. The gold fluids go up against it, and that whole area we control. Some of it 100%, some 85%. We're concentrating on Dumby, the bottom right-hand corner. But we also have an area of interest we're going to look at in the next 12 months, Macapella, which has 1.1 million ounces, extremely high grade. For scale, same scale, we've got Kibali, that's Barrick's ground, and Gator, which is AngloGold Ashanti. They're a third of our size. And as I said, we have gold throughout our area. So we have a lot of work to do moving ahead, and a lot of value to release, we hope. So, looking at the company maker, as I see it, Adumbi, the red stripe on the top, on the right there, around 900 meters long, and deposit goes down 130 meters wide, the deposit. But of interest also, the names at the bottom, 8 to 12 kilometers away, Paradise, Isiawapi, Mungo, at early stage, exploring very interesting geology. We want to put some holes in there and potentially create a mining district of size. But as far as Dumby is concerned, there's another picture and some of our drill rigs just having a look underneath the deposit. So you can see from a mining perspective, it should be fairly straightforward. We've got a camp there, we built a runway there, so access generally can be quite difficult through there, but the runway, etc., is helping, as I believe we're going to see more and more people actually turning up. We've had nobody there for the last 18 months. And that's one of the reasons nobody knows the story. They just haven't been able to see it as it's emerged. So when I say emerged, back when early days of COVID, we had 1.36 million ounces at Adumbi alone. We've grown it up to 3.66, and I reiterate, that's all in the pit. The grade, well, the likely mining grade, according to a scoping study, is 2.2, but that's a blended resource, which you can see the detail of our resources later on. But high grade, possibly a gram more than the majority of deposits in West and East Africa. And we found it at $5 an ounce. So the deposit, it's generally high grade through the center, as I mentioned, over 100 meters wide. And all of our resources sit within the red line here, 3.66 as I mentioned. And then we pop these ones down just below 600 meters. And as I said, we've hit the mineralization exactly where and with the grades that we hope for underground. But we also have two satellite deposits close by, which we incorporate into our deposit, Katenga and Manzako. But the key is Adumbi, the inferred and indicated resources there, high grade. And this a scoping study, we started this over 6 months ago. A DRA out of South Africa did this for us, and it was announced only a matter of weeks ago. And at current spot prices, it's probably closer to $1 billion than 900 million. So there we have a very robust figure. And we've included 25% contingencies, been conservative all the way through, and also looked at things such as hydro for our electricity, which is what Barrick's used, and of course is great for us going forward, looking at ESG issues. But I reiterate, close to 900 to $1 billion now at current metal prices, market cap of our company, 67 million for 85%. So that's really the story to unravel. And then over the next 12 months, we'll drill a bit more at Adumbi, try and with the potential of looking at increasing the quality of the resources, but underneath is really the key. I mean, internally, we're probably looking at pushing this towards a 5 million ounce resource, which is critical in the world of mining. There's this threshold. I'm a cash flow guy, and the thing that attracts me is the grade, but of course size as well is important. So we'll look to drill at depth and look to move the deposit aggressively ahead. So we have other exploration targets, and we touched on some of these at Imbo East, down strike from Adumbi. You can see some of the work that's been done. And the geology looks very similar to the early stage of Adumbi, but as I think anybody will tell you, until you actually do the holes and start digging it out, you don't know what's there. So we need to put some holes into those areas. But the other area which we wondering how to release value for shareholders is Macapella. And historically, there is a resource there from the drilling that's been done. There's indicated over 500,000 ounces, 600,000, and there's an inferred there, again, over 500,000, 1.1 million. And I think some juniors would love just to show this slide. 3 kilometers long, it could well extend further. It's a quartz vein, very narrow, so a different geological beast to Adumbi. But look at some of those historic holes. 64 grams, 4.3 meters. And they're just wonderful. So we need to know what to do with this, and we're possibly going to put some holes in there, put a small rig and drill some holes. So there we are. That's a summary of our total resources. That's the Adumbi plus Macapella. Add them together, and you're getting over 5 million ounces currently, but we're going to move that up aggressively. We already have done. We have a history of increasing, and we look to increase again with underground, Adumbi, Imbo East, and Macapella. But this is the final slide and perhaps the key slide. I put together a bunch of people. Well, I didn't do it. I plagiarized a group here. I haven't excluded anything. Anybody knows any other ones I should put on? That's fine. The round circle indicates the size of our deposit. And you'll see we're one of the largest sizes there. Ozone is a similar size, Montage, etc. It's one of the largest sizes through West and East and Central Africa. On the left-hand side is your grams per ton. And that translates directly into revenue per ton for most people. If your metallurgy is straightforward as ours is. I mean, you can see we have the highest revenue per ton, an outstanding revenue per ton. So this is a quality deposit that we're developing. Along the bottom is a valuation metric. Some of you will be familiar with enterprise value gold. Essentially, it's the market cap, that's 67 million, adjusted for cash and debt, divided by the ounces of resource that we have attributable to us. And we're sitting at around $15 an ounce on an EV. That's essentially, it means we're cheap. On the right, you've got companies in Guinea, for example, here, in Mali, other countries, similar size resources, much lower revenue per ton, arguably, and yet have valuations 3 times more than we have. And in a number of them, they don't have a scoping study, an independent scoping study, which gives you details we have on metallurgy, on plant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So my job, I think, in the next 6 months is to get this to move along here, and hopefully as we keep drilling, improving our resources, increasing the size of our deposit, then seeing a revaluation. And as the DRC gets talked about more and more by Rob Friedland, and Barrick continues to produce gold from the region, and the likes of BHP get interested, then hopefully we'll see a re-rating, not just of our particular deposit, but the country as well, and to the benefit of all our shareholders. And that's it. That's the story. Thank you.